I guess like two stages of like how I found out I was bisexual was number one, like way back in middle school when it was like a really weird edgy like comeback joke I said as a shower thought after an argument was done with somebody, or like, not an argument, like a joke conversation. So the joke conversation based on the lines of like this dude said, "Hey, bro, what's up? How you doing?" And other dude's like, nothing much, just fucking your dad." And then just both laugh off, walk away. And then in my mind, I'm like, but what if I really want to fuck his dad? And then I'm like, oh, that's a weird thought. And I kept moving on. And then that was like sixth or seventh grade, right? Like the really weirdest thought. Cause I was around like forming edgy phase. So therefore like I had jokes, like edgy jokes like that consistently, like, haha, I'm gonna kill you with a knife that's rusty, like that type of bullshit. But I never like really had anywhere like I was implying that I was gay and was like legitimately trying to force myself upon another male member of society. Like I never really had thoughts on that before, so it was like kind of weird. And then also the concept of like wrestling itself appealed to me more than just, you know, muscles and shit. That was very odd. I mean, not odd in the sense where it's like, well, it's kind of gay because it's strange. No, odd in the sense like I didn't realize it at the time as to why I was appealed, or why wrestling appealed to me, other than like the fact of being like muscular and strong and shit, you know what I mean? And then the second portion was perfect transition from dreams to now, was when I had this really weird dream with my roommates. So back in my good old college days, I mentioned back years ago, I had one roommate who essentially just, I'd say he was worse than me, because like I was one of the worst roommates ever of all time. I was bad. I would like put shoes in the dryer to like clank loud consistently. I'd forget my keys and then like try to like on the fucking lock and not try to knock on the door. So like the person who was sleeping or like sitting inside the dorm would have to walk outside and like open the door, because I didn't decide to, you know, text him or knock on the door and say, hey, I need to come in. You know what I mean? I was an annoying roommate. Like, I'll be honest, I was pretty annoying. Sometimes I didn't even do the dishes. Sometimes I didn't even like take the dishes outside of my room. It was pretty bad. Okay? It was pretty bad. But somehow this roommate was worse than me, right? And he was like toxically masculine to the point where like well, not like to any point, but he just was genuinely. And I remember one time specifically, he left like just a slab of raw chicken just sitting on the counter, just chilling there for like 2 days, because I went to visit my parents or some shit, and I came back and that smells rank. First time I ever smelled rotted flesh ever in my life. That was delicious. That was a wonderful aroma to ever have. Just is that chicken deli creme rotted to the perfect degree? Maggots seeping in the flesh. It's gonna taste wonderful with the salmonella juices. Like it's just crazy. And I cleaned that shit up, and then I just, you know, just like went on about my day. And about a month later from that, I go to sleep and I have this really, really vivid dream where I could actually move. It was almost a lucid dream, but I couldn't control anything else besides my actions in a very limited frame. Because this frame was essentially like borderline just two houses. Okay, I could only move from one house to the other. On one house, sorry about that. It was basically just like a tiny ass dirt apartment, like in Minecraft, whatever. Not a little like a dirt apartment. It was like a 1 room apartment, like very small. It had like a fence around it, and there's like spotlights just shining down everywhere consistently. It was almost like someone was like flying, and then like they had spotlights beaming down for no reason. It's like, that's a giant waste of power, by the way. Like, what the fuck? Like you could say, oh, there's skyscrapers. There weren't any skyscrapers to beam the lights down, so therefore like there's no point to those lights beaming down in the first place. So like, where they even come from? So therefore like that doesn't work. So yeah, so there's beaming lights, and then like again, fence around my house. I got grass, and my house specifically was brown. I don't remember exactly the same color, like brown or orange, something innocuous like that. But the house in front of me was blue. It was vividly blue, like hardcore, like bluer than Adidas's shirt right here. Or Adidas, my bad. I mispronounced the name. It was like vividly, like it was like almost like shining blue. Like if you ever read the book Insomnia, it was like that, like glistening aura inspiring, I guess. I don't know. I keep like over explaining words. It's so dumb. Anyway, it's just like glistening blue, right? Just like really vivid. And I look over there, there's like 10 dudes in the other house's fence, because the fence is just like mine, it comes right out to the sidewalk in like a little portion you can walk through, and they had the same build up except there's blue. And then there's like 5 dudes in there. There was like a couple of them like kissing and like just dapping, rolling dice, whatever. A couple of them were like just reloading guns and shit. And then my roommate and his best friend were like on the doors, like the patio stairway to the door of said house, and they were just like making out there. I'm like, what the fuck? But they're not gay. What am I was very confused. So I try to walk up to their house, because mind you, again, this entire reality is in a vacuum. Like nothing else outside of these 2 houses on the property of the sidewalk with the little grass growing inside the properties. That's all that exists. I don't even think there was anything in the house in the dream, which is those 2 things. And I walk to them, and then they just like keep kissing and making out, and like all of a sudden, boom, 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 dogs appear, basically insinuating that like I was definitely afraid of dogs at the time. So therefore, confronting them would trigger my fear reaction. So therefore, I would like try to back away, because I don't want to go near the dog, because dogs are bad, because I'm still afraid of dogs, like definitely afraid of dogs, even though I've been attacked by them. And because of that, I was kind of hesitant to like continuously just keep walking towards my roommate and his friend making out. But I'm like, you know what? I know these dogs are kind of vicious, but fuck it, I'm gonna keep walking away. I keep walking, and like I sit next to them, and like they're just still like sucking face and shit. And then I think I like write a note, go back to my house, like dap up one of the dudes who was like hanging on the fence, just chilling there with like a tank top and just like fucking like San Andreas wear, like TJ from San Andreas, like a tank top and like jeans and shit, just like chilling there. I was like, hey, what's up, man? Just walked back, went to the brown house, opened the door, and it was like literally my same exact apartment, like not verbatim, but like literally like pixel for pixel, like how my apartment looked like at the time. I walked in there, walked into my room, and just fell asleep, and then woke up from the dream I fell asleep from. And when I woke up, I'm like, what? Wow. That's a thing that exists on this planet. But here's the thing, right? I wrote it down, and I permanently remember that dream for the rest of my life. But here's the thing, right? So the reason why I think that like ties to like the awakening of my bisexuality is because of the fact that, notice how I said dogs were my just absolute worst fear. And when I tried to confront these said couple of men who were making out in the steps, the dogs immediately appeared while I was trying to confront them. So that could insinuate that when I was trying to confront my my sexual attraction towards men, I got a few reactions, because I'm like, you're supposed to hide this. You're not supposed to tell anyone about this. I mean, this is supposed to be real. This was like a joke. Ha ha ha. Get the fuck away. Back off. Back off. That's what the dogs were. The dogs were trying to fear me away. You know what I mean? But I kept going anyway. And the dogs were still there, but they didn't move for some reason. And that's basically it. I think at that moment I realized like, oh well, maybe there's something to this. And then I just decided to Google some things, and then more or less I'm like, fuck it, it's true, fuck it, I don't fucking care. But the thing is, always going back to like my first bisexuality video, the video about bisexuality privilege, which I suggest you guys check out, I kind of still went with the straight facade anyway, because I just can. I don't know. I can't really fully explain it, but it basically, I took the coward's way out. Instead of like embracing, I'm bi. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just a normal straight guy. Ha ha ha. Nothing wrong here. Ha ha ha. Like that was basically it, right? And just kept moving on my life. And it's still like kind of weird to think about it, confront it nowadays. Cause like, again, I can just like shoot on my straightness and then never think about anything after that, because like, why should I guess? Cause that's like my whole philosophy there. Cause like avoiding any confrontation at all is probably the best way to go for me, because I hate confrontation. But at the same time, not fully embracing myself is also very weird. I don't know. It's a very weird dynamic to fully grasp. I feel like it's more the coward's way out, and I am a coward, even though I am a narcissistic person. A narcissistic coward, that is me. But yeah, that's basically the whole story of like how I coming to men. That's it. All right. See ya.